Welcome back, Wolves. Tarkov has just dropped its latest patch about a week ago that could have literally saved the game. After the massive changes from the 1.0 release of the game, we've seen a ton of controversy from lack of loot, insane time gates, grinding progress to a standstill. Biggest issue that has plagued players worse than anything else was the utter lack of optimizations and performance that was missing from the 1.0 release. Today, we'll take a quick look at in-game performance before and after the update to see what kind of impact it actually had. Specifically, we are going to look at 3 key areas for comparison, then at the overall feel each map has post-patch. Those 3 areas being the Hideout, Street, and Custom. Specifically the newest addition to the Customs map, since it was a sync that would literally tank your FPS for many that even glance in the direction. Now, looking at these 3 specifically, since these areas have been heavily pointed out in negative reviews and on Reddit in mass. Then other maps as a general whole, just to keep things simple and in short. Quick context for those that may not know why this update may be more important than 1.0. Because of these technical issues, we saw a massive drop in players over time from Steam as new players not used to the buggy mess that is Tarkov left the game in frustration as proven by Steam reviews. We saw the peak in current player base go from about 47.8 thousand at release and drop all the way down to about 14.8 at its lowest point. This number is likely to be even larger as it does not account for those that used the BSG launcher and came back after time hoping for a polished game. However, with this new patch, we saw the number climb up 20k plus without the need for an in-game event, which shows hope yet. Now, from testing prior to update is largely what you would expect, as most of you know how the game was running since launch. Now, with my rig, which is the upper middle tier, I see on average 30 to 70 FPS across all maps. Now, Customs and Hideout specifically are towards the upper end of that range, while Streets is, I'm lucky if I even hit a 50 every now and then. Most times it's below 40, which is crazy since I'm released to Streets, I could run it at 80 FPS, no issue. I include more info on the side just for those that want more hard numbers for the best performing of each group among the first tests before I figured out my little trick. More on that later. Now, after release, we did see some improvements Customs in the Hideout area, by the new average being between 40 and 80 FPS as the new range, but nothing stable, and Streets still had almost no difference at all in performance. This is with OBS on, with no other programs open, keeping all resources for Tarkov for the most part. Notice especially a hard dip on Streets when first engaging in fights with NPCs, and across other maps in general. So I tried the old Tarkov classic, clearing cache, clearing log, and as long as I didn't load my Hideout, much like before the update, I had better FPS. Customs gained up to 100 FPS at the high end, and around 50 lows, with average being around 80. Huge boost right there. Overall, across each map, I saw noticeable improvement, at minimum of 20 FPS compared to before the update, with only exception being Street. That one I'm still lucky to get around 60 FPS on a good day, and only hitting that when I turn off use low resolution for Street options in the settings, as it appears to be having more of a negative impact on the game performance versus the positive impact that it should be having. Is this going to save Tarkov? More than likely not. It's going to help things immensely, yes, but they need to have continuous performance updates like this in order to even stand a chance in the long term. And not just this, the biggest thing that's weighing on Tarkov right now is its gameplay loop. Whether or not that seasonal mode that they are talking about in the summer comes to fruition, and whether or not it actually comes out well, is going to make or break Tarkov here. It's going to determine whether Tarkov becomes just that cool niche game or a playmaker in the space, and right now it's teetering on the line of either one, with no real certainty in which it could actually happen. If BSG can keep the update coming, keep the interest in the game, and keep the performance upgrades just going and going and going, will likely the people start coming back to the game that gave up the game immediately. Granted, it has taken about 5-6 months at this point, which is a little insane to think about, but it is giving us hope that Tarkov might stick around a little bit longer than we think. Holy, that's what I'm hoping here. Now, let me know, how did your performance improve in the game? Did it improve at all? Did it improve not at all? Let me know your specs too, because I'm curious to see if there's an impact on Intel versus AMD. From what I've seen, AMD users are having a little bit more of a harder time running the game than not. But hey, maybe it's just my system. Let me know down below, and as always, my pack, you have a howling good evening, and I'll see you howling for the next one.